Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to our 27th online weekly cultural heritage of Kashmir series. Today's lecture is by Dr. M.A.Bhageerathi on Kashmir and music, part 1. We begin with a prayer by Dr. Harini, daughter of Dr. M.A.Bhageerathi. Thank you, Harini. Harini is well known to us and appeared in our program many times. We warmly welcome our speaker, Dr. M.A. Bhageerathi, retired head, Department of Music, Queen Mary's College. The topic today is Kashmir and music. This being the vast subject, she will appear in our program next week also. Dr. Bhageerathi, known in family circles as Jayashree, belongs to the Parur family of world-famous musicians. She is a granddaughter of Parur Sri Sundaram and daughter of Sri M.S. Anantharaman. Sri M.S. Gopalakrishnan, known as MSG, is M.S. Anantharaman's brother. Dr. Bhageerathi's brothers, M.A. Sundareshwaran and M.A. Krishnaswamy, all well known in Carnatic music circle and great Carnatic musicians. Sri Parur Sundaram, her grandfather, composed Raghupati Raghava Rajaram for Gandhiji as instructed by his Guruji Sri Vishnu Digambar Paluskarji. She retired as head in charge, Department of Music in Queen Mary's College, Chennai, where she has been in the teaching for 27 years. She holds MA, MPhil and PhD in music. She also holds MCom, MPhil, Commerce degrees. Her music gurus include Kalaimamani M.S. Anantharaman, Dr. V.V. Srivatsa, and Vidya Shankar, sister of Nobel laureate Sri Subramaniam Chandrasekhar and niece of Nobel laureate Sir C.V. Raman. Parur Venkatraman, Devaram from Kapalishwar Temple, Oduvar, from our temple city of Mylapore, Chennai. She had been a member of the doctoral committee in the University of Madras, Mother Teresa Women's University, Pondicherry University, and Bharatidasan University. She produced 25 doctorates. Well known to us are Dr. Siva Chidambaram and Dr. Pushpavanam Kupuswamy. Dr. Harini Sivatsa, who rendered the prayer and also appeared in our program many times is her daughter. Dr. Bhageerathi has also done mobile apps for Tirukural and Silappadigaram for the Central Institute for Classical Tamil. As we have been watching, it is just not glory of Kashmir all the time. Our focus is national integration, north-south links, reinforcing Kashmir to Kanyakumari. As always, we thank Sri Kanchi Mutt for our ongoing initiative and offer our Namaskaram to His Holiness, Sri Shankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigal. With his blessings, we continue with our Kashmir Cultural Heritage Awareness lectures. Sri Kanchi Mutt has always been in the forefront, modestly working with the sole aim of national integration, spiritual enlightenment, and spreading the uniqueness as Kashmir is our cultural heritage. We are now very pleased to request Dr. Bhageerathi to take over.
Namaskaram to one and all. It's a great privilege for me, and I am incidentally connected with the mutt. I'll tell you how it is. From my grandfather's time onwards, and now the present guru is formerly, that is in his Purvashrama, a cousin of my PhD student Lakshmi Bhaskaran. So I'm really privileged. It's all now, whatever I know, if I think, everything is due to the anugraham of ancestors and elders. I thank Dr. Shankar for this opportunity, and I am really glad that I'm introduced as a mother of Dr. Harini Srivatsa. Magan Tandai Kaatru Mudavi, Ivan Tandai Ennutran Kollanum Sul, as Tirukural says, I'm getting introduced as a mother of so and so, really a very proud mother in that way. Now, today we are going to talk about Kashmir and music. Now, why Kashmir and music? What is the connection between Kashmir and music? It's not Kashmir alone. World is full of music. Every activity in the world is connected with somewhere or other with music. For instance, you breathe and your heartbeat, it is there is a rhythm. If the rhythm is not there, you know what happens. So that much is the importance of music in life. Now, what is the meaning of music? Geetam Vadyam Tatha Nrityam Sangeetam iti uchyate. That is, Geetam, that is what we sing, Vadyam, what comes from the Vadya, and Nritya, that is dance. All these three put together were known as Sangeeta from Bharata's time. Why I am going to Bharata? Now, it's going to be somewhat technical. I'll try to make it as simple as possible, but still I'll say it is a technical talk only. So Bharata's time, we had Natya Shastra. Now what is Sangeeta? Geetam, Vadyam, Tatha, Nrityam put together were known as Sangeetam. In Natya Shastra, this reference is there. Natya Shastra is a work written by Bharata Muni. Now Sangeeta, what is the term that connotes? Sangeeta was there as Marga Sangeeta and Deshi Sangeeta. What is Marga Sangeeta? What is Margam? We have got this marg, that marg, and all that in many cities. Marg means a way. Marga Sangeeta is that which leads to a particular place. Where it is going to lead to us, where it is going to lead. Marga Sangeeta is going to lead to us to get the moksha, that is the abode of God. So Marga Sangeeta belongs to God, and it is full and full creation of God. Who was the one? Lord Shiva created Marga Sangeeta. If you know the Marga Sangeeta and if you practice a Marga Sangeeta, what you get? You want to get something out of something. Everything you want to practice and you want to get something out of that. If you practice Marga Sangeeta, what you get is Adrishta Palan. We have heard the term Adrishtam. Adrishtam means luck. What is Adrishta Palan? Drishti is that which you can see. I am seeing this with my eyes and I have a perception that I am seeing a particular image. You may be seeing with some other perception, but anyhow, the drishti is there, but drishti is limited. Adrishta Pala means it is unlimited. It cannot be viewed with human eyes. So Marga Sangeeta gives Adrishta Palan, that which cannot be, it is rather, there is no boundary at all. So what is Marga Sangeeta? Who created that? Lord Shiva created Marga Sangita. Then he passed on that knowledge to Brahma. Brahma passed on the knowledge to Bharata and his 100 sons. So once we learn music, what we want to do? We want to do an Arangetram. There should be a place. Yes, Bharata and his 100 sons had Arangetram. That is, Arangetram means performing, maiden performance, performing for the first time. Bharata and his sons had Arangetram. Where they had the maiden performance was at Kailasha, the abode of Lord Shiva. Okay, you want to have the maiden performance, somebody should be there as a chief guest. Here the chief guest was none other than Lord Shiva himself. So in the presence of Lord Shiva, they performed Marga Sangita. Marga Sangita consists of Marga Ragas, then Marga Talas, and also the instruments meant for Marga Sangita. What are the ragas, Marga Ragas? Mainly we have a three major ones. Grama Ragas, that is Shadja Grama, Madhyama Grama, and Gandhara Grama. We know what is a Grama, a village. So in common parlance, Grama means a village. So village is nothing but a few hundreds of houses or even 50 houses together, you call it as village. So Grama here means swaras put together. We had Shadja Grama, Madhyama Grama, and Gandhara Grama. Now what Grama now lives is only the Shadja Grama. Now, before that, the advent of Samagana happened. So Samagana belongs to Marga Sangita. We have Udata, Anudata, and Swarita, the three swaras which emanated first. Then, after that, Sapta Swaras came, and with the Sapta Swaras, the Gramas were formed, and the main Grama now which we have is the Shadja Grama. This belongs to the Marga Sangita. From that, we have got Upa Raga, Bhasha, Vibhasha, Antara Bhasha, like that. Divisions are there. Now, how they were sung, we really don't know, because we are very, very bad at preserving our tradition and culture. We have not got records, so we don't know. Only the written things are there, that is in the Devanagari script, in many texts, of course. But how they were sung, we really don't know. Marga Talas, Chachat Puta, Chachat Puta, Shatpita Putraka, Sampat Veshtaka, Udgata. 5 Marga Talas. Now we now know that is in the common parlance we have an Adi Tala. In the Adi Tala you have got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Lagu and Druta. This Lagu consists of 4 beats. Generally, the present day Sangeeta consists of a Lagu which is of 4 beats. In those days, that is in the Marga Sangeeta, the Lagu consisted of 5 counts and not 4 counts. And you see the name of the Talas, Shat Pita Putraka. That is, nowadays we know Atma Putravate or Atma Putrivate. That is, like father, like son, we say. Like mother, like daughter, we say. Or like father, like daughter. Like mother, like son, like that. So the Atma Putravate, why the name was given? If you take the Tala, you divide it into 2. The first half will be the same as the second half of the Tala. That is why it was called as Shat Pita Putraka. So Sachat Puta, Chachat Puta, Shatpita Putraka, Sampat Veshtaka, and Udgata are the 5 Marga Talas. Naturally, 5 Talas means from where it must have come? From Lord Shiva, his faces. That Ishanam, Agoram, Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, all that we know. All the 5 faces. From the 5 faces came the 5 Marga Talas. From the 5 faces only the Solkatus also came. From the 5 faces, the Sapta Swaras came. Tyagaraja in his Kriti, in the Raga Chittaranjani, mentions Satyo Jatadi Panchava. Vaktra means face. Satyo Jatadi Panchavakraja Sarigama Padani Varasapta Swara Vidyalolam Vidalita Kalam. It goes like that. Nada Tanum Anisham. Anisham means always. Shankaram. Nada Tanu. Shankara is Nada Tanu. Tanu means Sharira. The Nada Tanu Shankara. That is Lord Shiva's Whole body is full of nada. His faces gave us the talas. His faces gave us the saptaswaras. We get the talas also from his dancing, Lord Shiva's dancing. Now here, why I am talking about all this? Where is the connection between Kashmir and this? You may ask me. Now here, we have the Bharata's Natya Shastra. We have landmarks in history. What is a landmark after all? Landmark is the yards that you fix. That is, for instance, if you have a land, if you want to mark the border, you keep the stones. These stones are known as landmarks. Similarly, to have a yardstick or you to say that it is very important place. Supposing you give a residential address of yourself, you want somebody to visit, you give a famous place which is near that place. That is a landmark. So like that, landmarks are there in musical history, especially from Sanskrit tradition. From Bharata's Natya Shastra, we get the Matangas, we have got Dattilam of Dattila, and then Matangas Brigadeshi. Matanga Muni. We know him. He is the father of Matangi, Raja Matangi, Raja Shyamala. We have got the sloka Sarigama Padaniratantam, Veena Sankranta Kantavastantam, Shantam, Mrudula Swantam, Kuchavaratantam, Namami Shivakantam. So Matangi gives everything. We have, in fact, Muthuswami Dikshitar has mentioned in the Kriti Dakshayani Abhayambike in the Tudi Raga, Bharata Matangani Nute Bharatish Pujite Dakshaya Ni Abhayambike. Why Matanga? 7th century. Some say it is 5th, some say it is 7th. Okay. From 1st century, then we are coming to 7th, the landmarks alone. Then we are coming to the 12th. I will come to the landmark. Before that, I'll explain something about Matangas Brihat Deshi. Matangas Brihat Deshi. The word says Deshi. Why? Because Deshi Sangita is explained in detail for the first time in Matangas Brihat Deshi. And what is Deshi Sangita? Deshe Deshe Prabhukto Aso Dwani Deshi Iti. That is in the lands, different lands have different music. Kashmir has a different music. Kanyakumari has a different music. Kerala has a different music. Andhra has a different music. United States has a different music. Australia has a different music. Deshe Deshe Prabhutto Aso Dwani Deshi. In Matangas Brihat Deshi, we find for the first time the term raga. We know the term was used previously also, but raga means that is wish generally. But here the term raga, Ranjako Jana Chittana Sa Raga Itya Bidiyate. That is what Matanga says. That is that which is pleasing to hear. Now we have the Marga Sangita. This Marga Sangita is a creation of Lord Shiva. We have the Kapala Gana, Kampala Gana, all those are there. We cannot change anything, the way of singing or anything in the Marga Sangita. We are not allowed to change anything. No Gamaka you can add, no Prayoga you can add, nothing of your own creation you can add. So man wanted music for his own enjoyment. That is where the Deshi Sangita came. Here we call as Nattupura Kalai, Nattupura Sangeetam, or the Manni Nisai as we call it in Tamil. Lok Sangeet as it is called. A whole, we had actually in All India Radio program from, 3 to 4 regularly broadcast as Lok Sangeet. I have heard it along with my grandfather, Sri Paru Sundari. He used to regularly listen to Lok Sangeet. Nowadays, we don't listen to Lok Sangeet at all. See, for instance, if you have Bengal, you have got the Rabindra Sangeet. So each place has got its own Sangeet. That is why even in Tamil tradition, we have got land which is divided into 5. Palai, Kurunji, Mullai, Mardam and Needal. Palai is a desert place. So accordingly, the music differed. Kurunji is a place which is hill. We have got the tribal music. In fact, tribal music is slightly, in fact, it is a completely different music. It's not folk music. For instance, I will just give a line of tribal music. It has come in Rajinikanth's movie Mullum Malarum in Tamil, and Ilayaraja has done the music. But this music, this tribal music, is from, of course, Dr. Gunasekaran was done the research work. Le 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 le. It's something different. Now, while telling about the tribal music, folk music, and Tamil Nadu, I should say today we have to remember Uve Swaminatha Iyer, but for whom we would not have got the Sangam literature or the present literature. In fact, from the Sangam literature only, we come to know that the land was divided into 5. So thanks to Uve Swaminatha Iyer, extremely helpful contribution he has done till today. We have to remember him. And he was actually about to learn only music, but Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai told him, if you concentrate on music, you will lose on Tamil. So he went back to Tamil, and of course, he knew music, and he has written about Gopalakrishna Bharati's Charitram also, and he has written about his Charitram, where he mentions about his music knowledge, and also so many things he has mentioned about music. And Uve Swaminatha Iyer, we have to remember. Now, this is land we are dividing into 5. Palai, Kurinji, Mullai, Mardam, Neidal. Mullai is land related to forest. Mardam is field. Neidal is that which is near sea. Just like Chennai, we are near the sea, is it not? This is Neidal. This has been mentioned by Jnana Samandar. I will mention it later on or in the second lecture, which I am going to give you. Now, here, the land was divided into 5 and Deshi Sangeeta emerged. But Brihadeshi gives us the Deshi Sangeeta first. Then, after that, there is a deep dwell about Deshi Sangeeta by none other than today's hero, I will say. We have to remember him every day. Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharngadeva. Sharngadeva, he was born in Kashmir. Sharngam, you know the bill. That is the Dhanur. That is mentioned whenever Lord Vishnu is mentioned. Sharngadeva is a Kashmiri Hindu, and he was very knowledgeable. His family was fully oriented towards music. When the Mughal problem came, Mughal invasion came, and Delhi was ruled by some Musalman rulers, the fear of staying safely came. So Sharngadeva's ancestors and Sharngadeva along with them moved towards down south, and they came, I will tell you, regarding Sharngadeva, the mention is made by Reginald Massey, Jamila Massey in the 1996 publication of Music of India, and they have done it very nicely. They say he was a 13th century Indian musicologist who authored Sangeet Ratnakara, the classical Sanskrit text on music and drama. It is considered to be the authentic treatise in Indian classical music. Whoever does M.A. music, whether it is in Hindustani music or Carnatic music, or I'll say like this, South Indian music or North Indian music, they certainly go through the text, or at least even the content, or at least to name the chapters of Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharngadeva. In an era of Islamic invasion of the northwest region of the Indian subcontinent and the start of the Delhi Sultanate, his family migrated. Yes, they came down. And where they came south and settled in the Hindu kingdom in the Deccan region, ruled by the Yadava king. The Yadava dynasty ruled there. It is near Ellora Caves in Maharashtra, and the king's name is Singanna II, 1210 to 1247 AD. And Sharngadeva worked, people choose their profession according to the convenience. If they have 2 professions, if they don't want to lose on one profession, the second profession they will choose according to the convenience. Sharngadeva was most interested in Sangeetam, so he didn't want to lose, and he wanted to write a treatise which will be useful for the future. So to give time for that, he searched a job which will suit him, which will not disturb him. And incidentally, he got a job as an accountant in Singana's palace. And this gave him nice time. Remember, even nowadays, there are many chartered accountants who are musicians, like there are so many. And there are mathematicians who are musicians. There are economists like T.M. Krishna who are musicians. They are all into this. But they have, first of all, they try the other profession or they keep the other profession okay without disturbing. If you take Sivachidambaram, he's a doctor by profession and he is a musician also by profession. He saw to it that one is not interfering in other. So that is what, that actually people are following the footsteps of our great Sharangadeva who wrote the Sangeeta Ratnakara. The Sangeeta Ratnakara, actually, whenever we mention the year as 1247 AD. We are closing the eyes and we are saying always 1247 AD means Sharangadeva Sangeeta Ratnakara. Sangeeta Ratnakara's period, it started that music was only music without clubbing dance. And when it started, there was a work named Sriman Lakshya Sangeetam. This is mentioned by Professor Sambamurthy, where Tadapi Vividam Nyayam, it is mentioned, South and North division came. So, but Sarangadeva gives only one music. We call it as Bharatiya Sangeetam. My grandfather called it as Bharatiya Sangeetam. And also my guru, Parur Venkatraman, used to say everything is the same. You have got mix of, see for instance, Hamir Kalyani's Kedar. And they have taken a raga from us, I will tell you. And it is remaining the same, and they have, it's all mutual, because Sangeetam remains from north to south, everything is the same. Sharangadeva's Sangeetam has come down. Here in any South Indian, in Tamil Nadu itself, if you take any university, or in Kerala, or Karnataka, or Andhra Pradesh, all the universities have in MA Music a syllabus where they cover Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharangadeva. Now, Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharangadeva, when we mention about him, it's a monumental work, no doubt. And whatever you want to say about the work, nothing will suffice. There are so many chapters in Sangeeta Ratnakara. See, 7 chapters are there. Swaragata Adhyaya. Regarding Swaragata Adhyaya, Sangeeta Kala Acharya B. Krishnamurthy sir once did a lecture demonstration in the Music Academy. Swaragata Adhyaya, Raga Viveka Adhyaya, Prakirna Adhyaya, Prabandha Adhyaya, Tala Adhyaya, and Vadya Adhyaya. We don't have a dance chapter as such. See, now it is only concentrating on Geetam and Vadyam. So, Sangeetam has come down to Geetam and Vadyam now. Here, Prakirna Adhyaya is there, Prabandha Adhyaya is there. Now, we have got the Deshi Sangeeta. In detail, Sarangadeva, we call it in Tamil, Akkuvera Anivera, in pieces, that is not leaving any nook and corner. Everything, every aspect of Deshi Sangeeta is covered by none other than Sharangadeva in his Sangeeta Ratnakara. That is the main connection. Now, I am going to dwell in detail about Sharangadeva's Sangeeta Ratnakara. Now, Swaragata Adhyaya gives swaras. Okay. Now, we will take an interesting aspect. We listen to a prayer today. About that I will deal. Deshi Sangeeta. Deshi Sangeeta is Deshe Deshe Pravukto Asau Dwani Deshi iti. So, in different lands, you get the different music. So, it is man-made music. It may be called as folk music, or even classical music is man-made, isn't it? So, man made music for making happiness for himself. So, to relax or to even elevate his soul, even that. So, man-made music is Deshi Sangeeta. Deshi Sangeeta has got mainly 2 divisions. One is Nibaddha Gana, another is Anibaddha Gana. Bandham, Sonda Bandham we mentioned. That is, Bandham means some relationship is there. Somebody is related to us. So what is the relationship itself? That is, there is some binding. Some binding is there. See, for instance, if two people are there, if they are having a binding by having their mother and uh, mothers related, then mothers may be sisters. So some binding is there. This binding is called as bandham. Anibaddham, that is without boundary. Anibadha Gana is nothing but a Gana which is giving you freestyle rendering. Alapana comes under Anibadha Gana. Alapana was previously known as Alapti. Alapti is of two types, Raga Alapti and Rupaka Alapti. Raga Alapti is a present day Raga Alapana. Rupaka Alapti, Rupakam Vastu cheese. Rupaka means that which is something you have got. Rupaka Banjani we call it as. That is, you do the Neraval nowadays, no? It can come under Rupaka Banjani. But in Neraval you have got your creative singing also. So Rupaka Alapti, that is, you have got a theme, but around the theme you have your creativity done. So Raga Alapti is there, Rupaka Alapti is there. This we have it in Tamil tradition also, which is called as Alatti. Alamum, Nalamum, Alatti. As we mentioned it. Now, why I am mentioning Tamil tradition parallelly? Because the oldest music is nothing but Pannisai, which is age old as the Samagana. So parallelly we are having everywhere music developed. When man came into being, music came into being. But Gregorian chants which we have and the Western music, those are all from only from the 10th century onwards. They came only from the church. But our music, we don't know. Anadi Sampradayam, as it is called as. Who is Anadi? Anadi Sampradayam means you don't know the Adi and you don't know the Antam. Do we know? We don't know the Adi or Antam. So it is coming under Anadi Sampradayam. So this music is age old and we have got the, what to say, Alapti as Anibadha Ganam and Nibadha Ganam. Nibadha Ganam means that which is having the boundaries. Baddham Dhatubir Angaisha. Prabandham Ityabhidiyate. Now we have got the Nibadha Ganam, Kriti Irku. We have got the Kritis, Kirtanas, Geetam, right from Geetam onwards. Everything is, that's what we have created and it is having its boundaries. For instance, if you sing a Geetam, you have got the boundary like Raga and Tala. Is it not? See, you have got, if you are going to sing a Varnam, you have got a Raga and Tala. If you are going to sing a Swarajati, you have got a Raga and Tala. Kriti, you have got Raga and Tala. So everything has got a boundary. You cannot change the, you cannot go beyond the Tala. You cannot go beyond the rhythm that is mentioned. You can't go beyond the, of course, even in Alapti, there is a boundary. You cannot go beyond the Raga that is mentioned, that is there. But there is, though there is no specific rhythm, there is an inbuilt rhythm in Alati or Alapti also. But this, the freedom is allowed there. You have got your own freedom. But here in Kriti or Kirtana, you will say the first Sangati, in the second Sangati, third Sangati, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that you sing. So there is a boundary that is created. Now, with this reference, I am going to give you the origin of Kriti or Tilana, where from previously we didn't have Kritis. In Sangeeta Ratnakara, notation is given. Notation is given in Devanagari script, and we have got, what to say, Jantum, Jagatiya, Valitara, like that, mentioning about praising, the words praising Lord Shiva are there. We don't know how they sang. But when we want to know what is this, these are not mentioned as Prabandhas. Prabandhas are given as examples to explain the ragas. But these Prabandhas, which we are with notation, we are not able to sing. But Prabandhas with notation with the Gamaka markings are there available for us in the monumental work Sangeeta Sampradaya Pradarshini of Subbarama Dikshitar. The work dates to the year is 1904 and it was printed at Vidya Vilasani Press at Ettayapuram. The work is in Telugu and some parts are there in Tamil. And you have got the theory part of music explained as explained, and the theory part is titled as Sangeeta Lakshana Prachina Paddhati. Paddhati is the word. What is Paddhati? Paddhati is nothing but tradition. Now I am going to sing a verse for you. So I'm going explaining a lot, so relax and listen to this singing. Uddhatari bhujana veda tapana paddhati re. Uddhatari bhujana veda tapana paddhati re. Prapancha sutra dhara jagadadara giridhira uddhatari bhujana vidha tapana paddhati re. Prapancha sutra dhara jagadadara giridhira pavana tanubhava kandhara bandura sandanure tagumta takukuta tadi tagumta jam tarigum tarije jagina girata kina kina jam ma pada sari gama ma pa da sa sari sari da sa tena 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 Govinda Dvari Suta Venkatamaki Kuruni Karinela Shriranga Prabhavita Amada Shri Ranga Swami Jivu Uddhatari Bhujana Veda Tapana Paddhati Re. Our Paddhati is such a big one. Uddhatari Bhujana Vedha Tapana Paddhati Re. Now what is happening? Prapancha Sutra Dhara Jagadadara Giridhira. Jagadadara is here Lord Shiva. Pavana Tanubhava Kandana Bandara Sandure Re Tagunta. How he dances? The Jatis. Tagunta Takuku Taku Tate Tagunta Tagunta, like that he dances. Now this is one of the Prabandhas. Now what is a Prabandha? Prabandhas are obsolete musical forms. If you ask me now, nobody is singing these musical forms. Now, these compositions we find in Sangeeta Sampradaya Pradarshini by Subbarama Dikshita, given in the Telugu script as notation. We got so many Prabandhas given. Now, Govinda Advari. Advari means one who is a highly capable and highly learned person as far as Vedas are concerned. Govinda Advari, Govinda Dikshitar, you know, Govindapuram. Now Shankar sir told me tonight he is leaving for Kumbakonam. Near Kumbakonam is only Govindapuram. Govindapuram is a place exclusively gifted for Govinda Dikshitar by the king Saraboji. Govindapuram is there, and Govinda Dikshitas, you can see the image of Govinda Dikshitar, is a very, very great person. And Govinda Dikshita's son is Venkata Makhin, or Venkata Vaidyanatha Dikshitar, as he is called as Venkata Makhin. Venkata Makhin also some people say. Venkata Makhin is the one who has composed this Prabandha, and you can see how this Prabandha is. It is so beautiful. Why we are not singing that? At the request of Kanchi Acharya Mahaswamigal, in one particular year, many great Vidwans like B. Rajamayar, presented many prabandhas in the music academy. I don't know whether they have got the records. Now, I had the privilege of presenting the prabandhas in the presence of great vidwans for the music academy, and what to say, by God's grace, by the grace of my gurus, and in that year, 2 years I presented. In both the years, I got all the prizes for the musicological prizes meant for paper presentation. But this knowledge, I will tell you, everything is given by God. Nothing is mine. So the voice is given by God, and the knowledge, Saraswati only speaks through my voice. Actually, when Kalidasa asked Saraswati, am I not a good Kavi? She said, you are myself. Yes, only God as Saraswati should reside in us, and she only should give us knowledge. She only should pour whatever knowledge I have got. Now, let us come to the Prabandhas. These are the forerunners for the compositions like Kriti, then Tilana, etc. But one particular year, Dr. Priya Jaraman has done, she has done on Prabandhas, Tilanas and Jakkini Darus, her doctorate thesis. And she has, for her, I have sung the Prabandhas. We also presented these Prabandhas in the presence of great Guru, that is none other than Padma Vibhushan, God of music, Dr. Balamurali Krishna, and myself and my daughter have got the appreciation. She gave today a prayer today. She sang, and the prayer is a Prabandha. Now, what is a Prabandha? I think I will, now it is 42. I'll go on for another 3 to 4 minutes. I'll give an introduction. Then I will continue in the next lecture, whatever is it. What is a Prabandha? Baddham Dhatuvir Angaischa Prabandham Ityabhidiyate. That which is having Dhatus and Angas. You have got a human form. In the human form, you have got eyes, you have got hands, you have got legs. Similarly, Prabandhas have also got Angas, 6 Angas. And there are, if you take a Kriti or Kirtana, there are sections, divisions. Pallavi. Actually, Pallavam means it is a fresh leaf. Pallavam, the meaning is given as that. Pallavi is the first section of a Kriti. Anupallavi is the second section. Then the third section is usually the Charana. You may have multiple Charanas. Then you may have Chitta Swara, Swara Sahita. So many decorative Angas are there. So divisions. These are called as Dhatus. Dhatu is the musical part. And that we have got in the Prabandhas, Dhatus are sections also. So here what I have sung is one Prabandha. The other Prabandha which she sang is in the Raga Hamsadhvani. Chand Sela Runda Maladar Pannaka Bharana Bhakta Jana Valure Brahmadi Sevita Tripurantaka Ketataka Jam Takanaka Jam Jam Jai Jai Kina Jam Kina Takana Kana 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 Taka Taka Tiki Tiki Jam Tari Jam Pani Papa Gani Sari Gagani Sari Niri Sa Niri Nisasa Nisasa Risani Pani Patrisa Tenam Tena 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 Tenam Tena Tenam Venkata Krishna Pujita Padambuja Re Upaganga Hamsa Dhvani Krita Sriranga Prabandha Gana Priyurene Chidambara Nivasa Shivaka natayasha pahi pahi re sani pagare sa ni re ga pagare sa re re sa sa sa. This prabandham is in the Hamsadvani Raga. Hamsadvani Raga is a creation of Ramaswamy Dikshitar, father of Muthuswamy Dikshitar. This raga is a one which has gone from us to North India. We sing Vatapi Ganapatim Bhajeham. They sing Lagitu Ganapatim Bhajeham. A slight modification they do, and they sing as Shankara. Gapagasa. I think I will continue my lecture in the next one because it's something very deep I have to go. So far, what I have done, if you have got any doubt, you can always ask.
Thank you, Dr. Bhageerathi, for adding this new dimension to our lecture series. Now, it's widely open music, and I'm sure more and more people will join us in exploring these possibilities of this connection. So I'm going to first, before my concluding remarks, I would like to share some comments that I've been seeing here. I am learning, you're able to read this? I'm learning new aspects, ragas from 5 phases of Lord Shiva as Swachanda Bhairav. This is one Virendra Kasiji, who is our mentor, who is coordinating. That is his comment. And another one I would like to, maybe you would like to respond to this. Are you able to see that? Respected madam, one type of Margiya Sangeeta still existing with God's grace is Supada, purely for self-realization or moksha, which is still sung and practiced by a few families in North India. That is another comment that we have seen.
Very
here.
glad to know.
And there is one Veena Narvekar. Excellent information, elaborated the different types of lands and his music. She is so knowledgeable. She's just praising you. And then you forgot to mention that you are also into a different field. You talked about chartered accountants, doctors. You're also a chartered accountant. And that was after you branched off into music or before? You studied first?
I worked for 15 years as professor of commerce and I specialized in income tax.
Wow. Okay, very interesting. And that's all the comments I'm seeing here. Rag, there is another comment I'm seeing, which I think Rag Amsadwani from Pandit Chanulal Mishra of Benares. Today is a most blissful day, Mahaparivanugraha, listening to pillars of Bharati Sangeeta. I think we Goteti Surya Narayana Murthy. That is comments. Now, this connection that you are talking about, here I think you mentioned 1247, correct? 13th
yes,
century.
1247 AD.
So that is where the connection started, Sarangadeva's Sangeeta Ratnakara. That is where this connection with music for Kashmir started, or even earlier?
Even earlier, that is when he was born itself. From Kashmir only he was born. And he, you know, I think I thought of next mentioning the next lecture. What is it means? Sarangadeva in the ragas, he has mentioned many ragas. One raga he mentions is Takka Vibhasha Devara Vardhini. So he knows about Devaram, which I will elaborate in my next lecture.
Because
okay,
Kashmiri Saivaism is a big topic that we covered it, part 1, part 2.
Okay.
Kaziji covered, and we also had few sessions, and we will continue more. So there is some connection. And again, as we keep talking about earlier period, we've discussed enough about the destruction. And in this part, when it comes to music, there must have been some destruction, right? Like they must have lost anything in this, in form of palm leaves. What did he carry when he
That is,
left?
we are not good at preserving our culture. That's what I'm saying. So we don't know how. See, Jantum Jagatiya Valitara. I'm telling only the words. Why I'm not able to sing? We don't know how they sang. Whereas if you look at the south, that is in Tamil Nadu, from Jnana Sambandar onwards, how Jnana Sambandar sang his first song. We are singing it till today like that. That oral tradition has existed. Even in Vedas, we have got oral tradition. But in music, this oral tradition is, the link is missing. My grandfather always used to say Bharatiya Sangeetam. But Bharatiya Sangeetam means, in fact, he went from Trivandrum to Bombay and he introduced violin for the first time. And of course, you mentioned about his composition of Raghupati Raghava Rajaram at the behest of his guru and father figure, Vishnu Digambar Paluskarji. And due to this composition, he received a gold medal from Gandhiji. That medal is there with me only. Next time, if possible, I'll show that medal. The date itself
Please.
is inscribed in that.
So when we talk about national integration, we always talk about religion. That's the one uniting the country. So from what you have been explaining, music is another aspect that unites the country, right?
Music is beyond religion also. If
Right.
you listen to Bhavani Dayani, Parveen Sultana sings well. So no, there is no boundary for music like caste, religion, anything.
Now, you also mentioned the origin of Kriti. You talked about praising Lord Shiva.
Yes.
And music, you also mentioned about happiness. And again, happiness, going back to this, connected to devotion and religion. That is the reason why music is always considered as divine and producing happiness through these forms that you mentioned.
Sir, as a mathematician, you will be also knowing. See, we have got a brain which is of two sides, the right and left. The right side is full of fine arts. So nowadays people say my daughter is doing +1, +2, so I stopped using music, stop dancing. Don't stop. They will enjoy music and they will do better in the studies. Because left side is meant for arithmetic, logic and all that. So continue both. You will have bliss, you will have happiness, you will have what you have to cover for your day-to-day taking care of you also.
So, what will you be covering in our next part?
Next
When we
part,
meet next.
I have to dwell in detail about the Prabandhas. I have just started, that's all. I have to tell about that. And then I have to tell about the connection of the Dravidian music, that is Saundari Lahari and Adi Shankara's Saundari Lahari, and the parallel work is there, Abhirami Andadi, and also Devarams, how they come into that. See, Adi Shankara mentions about our child. So those things I have to mention.
Very nice. You also quoted quite a few Tamil tradition in this.
Yes.
And that is a link we have, right? There is definitely a link between.
I will tell you. I taught recently for what is it, the Central Institute for Classical Tamil. I taught them the Sangam literature. Sangam literature, you know the prayer song. It is about Lord Shiva. So there is a connection. See, if you are Bharata's Natya Shastra, it explains the rasas, 8 rasas. Similarly, we have got 8 Maypadals mentioned in Tolkapi. Parallel it runs. And Tolkapi also is not mentioning about Shantarasa. Bharata is also not mentioning about Shantarasa. It's considered to be one of the rasas. 9th, we call it as, but only 8 rasas are there. 8 rasas are mentioned in Bharata's Natya Shastra. 8 Maypadus, the same rasas, mentioned in Tolkapiyam, the oldest available text in Tamil, thanks to U.S. Swaminathan Iyer.
Okay. Very good. Thank you so much, Madam, for opening this new avenue into music and connection with Kashmir. we'll look forward to seeing you again next Saturday, same time. And as always, we thank Kamakodi team, our YouTube and Facebook channels, and our streaming support by VDSP as always. We will see you again next Saturday. Hare Hare Shankara, Jai Jai Shankara.